Welcome everyone to Mechs on Deck. It's Wednesday, 8 p.m. We're here. Got some friends on stream, some people that we've spent some time with playing some video games. PrimeCaps. How you doing?
Hey, great. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Yeah. No, we're doing pretty well actually. Yeah, we're just getting ready to move and packing up our studio. So
Setting up a new space.
yeah,
Exciting.
it's been an exciting week for sure.
Exciting yet stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just finished our last sale for the
We just
run.
shipped out all of our
We just finished shipping out our Halloween sale. Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice. Definitely
Yeah.
get into that.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were in. You guys did just do the incubator, so we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah, that was rad. Mhm.
So, first and foremost, though, we'll go through our sponsors. Starting off with switchmod.net. You can go to switchmod.net/mechsondeck for 4% off. You can get some tubs of lube, or not tubs of lube, but we highly recommend the tubs.
Blessed by Krelbit
and-
himself.
Exactly. Sorry, I'll get to the camera issue in a second. And then he's got GMK Alter coming out. So
Nice.
definitely go check that out. And then Zap Cables. Zap Cables makes some of the best cables in the industry. You can get a DIY kit, build it yourself using our video, or you can buy one directly from him. And if you do buy one from him, just know you're going to get like the best cable you've ever had.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Last but not least, we have Dixie Mech. You can go to mechsondeck.dixiemech.com to get tons of stuff. Right now, they're running GMK Dracula, which might go down as the most popular base kit ever. We'll see. And then next month, starting in November, so a little bit over a week from now, they'll be running GMK Terra, second set in the Rinsuya Naruto collection.
Oh, come on, dude! It's Avatar.
Or Avatar. Sorry. I'm not
I'm just
versed.
picturing like legends with like people Naruto running and shit like that, like with
Avatar.
their arms behind their back.
I messed that one up. I'm sorry, Rinsuya. Sorry, Dixie. And everyone who's a fan of Avatar. But with that being said, you can get that next month. And then he's got desk mats, the whole 9 yards. He's got a bunch of stuff. So go on over. But yeah, check it out.
Yeah, and for those who have noticed, so literally 2 minutes before stream started, I broke my cable to my camera. So yeah, old school camera for today.
It's all good.
But
He hulked out on it if you couldn't tell.
It's been a rough day.
Mhm.
It's been a day and a half. So, but anyway, enough about me. So we usually start off with a fast four. So it is your top four of these questions. So we will ask both of you, how or what, not how, I'm sorry. The tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips. What are your top four favorite switches? They do not have to be in any order.
Okay.
I mean, I do like.
Yeah, we actually like the Halo switches right now. What else do we do that we liked? I like the Zeal. I like Zelios and V2s.
Hmm.
And I don't know, Holy Pandas, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I was using I had Cherry Clears for a bit there that were pretty decent. They were lubed. I don't know.
I'm still a Switch lube or a Switch noob. I'm still moving up from my original.
She's on Topre right now.
I'm using the high pro.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I mean, it's not the worst. There are worse switches. You could have said like Membrane
or Greetech.
Oh, I tap on a glass screen.
Yeah.
Are those laser keyboards?
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, you could have said the laser ones. That would have been probably the worst.
Yeah, the laser ones.
It's like my desk. That's my favorite switch.
I do text to speech. or speech to text, voice to text, whatever.
But yeah, no, I think between all of those. Right now we're using clear or Halo clears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got clears on your new board too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, what is your top 4 boards?
I mean, my favorite is the TKC 1800. I like the 1800 layout out of all of them. As far as like build and stuff like that, I mean, it's not fancy aluminium board like some people have, but yeah.
No. I mean, one of my favorite boards, though I'll never have it, is the concrete board.
Oh yeah, yeah. That Briz made.
Yeah, the Briz.
Yeah, that was always like one of the high points of our meetups when we went and got to hang out in Seattle, is to see Briz's concrete keyboard. That was actually a pretty good one.
Could you imagine taking that on a plane and having to explain why you have a slab of concrete?
I mean, I also like the 50 we have.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the Neuron, which is in the mail. It's like a polycarb. It's my first polycarb board. It's a 40%, so it's going to take a bit of adjusting, but it's going to look really good, and it's exciting to have like a really small case like that, because I might end up doing a few casts of it. See how that comes out.
Yeah, I got to try the Neuron the last couple meetups I went to. It's
it?
For a 40%. It's something that I could actually see myself like owning. We were talking about this in our Discord about how I was like, if I ever get a 40%, I'm not gonna, one, I don't want to spend like a fortune on it, and two, it's not gonna be like a crazy daily driver, but it'd be fun to take to work for a few weeks and mess around with.
It just messes with my brain. I'm always like trying to use the numbers, and my like fingers are like hitting air. It's like, you know, when you miss a stair or something like that. That's what it feels like.
The like subtle feel of like you're falling, but you're not actually falling.
Yeah, I'm like, where's my fingers going? So it throws me off a little bit. I remember we were doing typing tests with one like that where layers so bad. But I'm committed to trying to adjust this.
There you go. So after that will be your top 4 favorite keycap sets.
I mean, I saw one that I kind of hope gets made soon. What's that? Like a GMK Sloth.
Oh yeah, GMK Sloth.
Oh yeah, that's Drifting Bunnies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I want that.
Drifting Bunnies is all over our Discord. I don't know if he's
tell him to hit me up if you want. We got a new Sloth key in the making right now.
Yeah, he's in chat right now. Drifting Bunnies.
Yeah, we'll make a run of.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a cool set. We were both.
I don't know. I like.
I really like the new GMK Splash coming out. That's one that we're actually working with them to do a run of keys. Yeah. What else?
I don't know. I can never think of anything on the spot. I look at key sets all day.
No.
I like.
You don't remember the name of it?
I can't remember. I don't know. I can never remember on the spot.
Here, let me help you out here.
It's like black and like.
It's black and what? Sorry.
Like a minty color or like a.
Is it GMK Wasabi?
Yeah, GMK Wasabi.
I can't keep. Like, there's so many of them. I can't keep.
Yeah, there's honestly so many.
Is that it?
No, but I do like.
I mean, what about 9009? That was a good one.
I do like that one.
Yeah.
Classic.
Oh, I like that one too. I kind of wanted that one.
8008. Yeah.
Yeah, I was contemplating why. But
I got in on 8008. I'm pretty stoked.
Oblivion is one of my favorites as well. Yeah.
That's like a classic set. That's up there with like 9009 at this point. Of like being a classic. Most people either have it or want it at some point.
It just goes. It's just It's like one of those ones that like toes the line between professional and then like unique in its own way, where it's you can have that on your board and then be comfortable, you know, taking it around and not feel like you're kind of getting out there, you know.
You're flexing, but you're not flexing to people that don't know anything about keyboards.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just loud enough, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah.
I don't know. I like
Violet tendencies aside from the dark mods. Yeah. It photographs well if you get good light on it. Yeah. So.
Does. That's a cool set. I wish that they. I think they'll eventually probably do a rerun of it. Maybe change up the legends on the modifiers a little bit, but
I think
if they went, I think if they went with a lighter, like instead of a like almost black, they went with like a medium to dark gray. I think it would be slightly better.
It's one of those tough ones where it looks fine in renders and like the colors look fine digitally, but as soon as you get them in real light, it's one of those things where it's just you can't ever tell until you see the real thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last question is top 4 favorite foods.
Oh yeah.
Tendies.
What do I like?
I like ice
cream. Tendies and ice cream getting up there.
Ferrero Rochers.
It's a well-balanced meal right here.
Well, okay,
you gotta mix them all.
That's things, not like what I eat. We had some nice curry
Build a
today.
4-course meal.
Yeah.
I'd like a full roast dinner with Yorkshires. That would be delicious. I don't know.
I don't know what I like. Maybe
He likes spicy.
I like spicy food sometimes. Maybe like jerk chicken is really good.
Mi, like
oh yeah, I like
banh
mi.
Dude,
Yeah,
banh
mi. Yeah, that's like one
There's
of my
a really
favorites.
good like banh mi place that sells them for like $3.50.
Oh,
it's
what?
like it's like an 8 to 10 inch sub.
Man, I gotta come down to
like,
Texas.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
You like halibut burger?
Oh yeah, halibut burger, like a deep fried halibut burger. Yeah,
halibut's good
with some tartar sauce. Yeah. What
Oh,
else?
tartar
I think that's
sauce.
what it. Yeah, I got a little tartar sauce on it. Putin?
I like.
No, I'm just being stereotypical.
Stereotypical Canadian.
Yeah.
Poutines.
We do eat it sometimes. Yeah, occasionally.
I like
yeah.
Do y'all get crazy with it? Are y'all like into the like traditional only, or are you like willing to branch out and go like for the crazy poutines?
We usually do traditional, but I'll eat crazy poutine sometimes.
I mean, I've had the butter.
Yeah, but the butter chicken poutine, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Throw some tendies in there.
top it with some ice cream.
Would be
oh my god.
Do you take the fries from poutine and dip them in milkshakes?
I have done that before.
That's like
people. That's like a huge thing down here. Is people get
malts, right?
Frosties from Wendy's and a large fry and just sit there, and I think it's disgusting. But
I've done that before, and it was. But I was in high school and I didn't know anything.
There you go.
Yeah. Aren't you supposed to use the fry as a straw? You're supposed to like bite off each end and like
a frosty slam.
That sounds like it would be terrible.
It's a play on the Tim Tam Slam. Have you guys ever heard of that one?
I think so.
Yeah,
I've heard of it, but I don't know. I couldn't. Oh yeah.
It's like a chocolate cookie, and you bite the corners off, and then you like suck up tea through it.
It like melts the chocolate and then you eat it. It's super huge in Australia, I think. But yeah, it's actually really good.
I like.
So, well, moving on. Quick backstory: we met Mr. Dankley Frank through some friends in the Discord. Actually, through Janelle. I think I just like started messaging her on Instagram about keyboards, and then that just kind of gradually transversed into playing games together. I actually played Dungeons and Dragons with Frank, and like every single week. So it's been
we're in a campaign together.
It's exactly. It's been a lot of fun. Because honestly, I can't think. It's very rare that you and I just like talk about keyboards. Like we'll say, "Hey, did you see that new thing?" And then after that, it's like.
Yeah, when I'm not working, I'm trying to usually escape.
I'm trying to think about.
Yeah, all we think about is keyboards like all the time. It's crazy. Yeah, it gets a little overwhelming, you know how it is. But yeah, no, it's.
So, I guess the first thing I will ask is how did you get into keyboards, and then how did that translate into um, doing what I think some people would love, or maybe some people might see it as a blessing in disguise or a nightmare in disguise of kind of going full time into a keyboard business?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, well,
Okay, so started you like
back
you
in
got a
2015, yeah, I was
Cool
like,
Master, was it?
oh yeah, I got a CM Storm.
Cooler Master?
So yeah, so what happened is I kind of like stumbled on Geek Hack years ago, and I kind of messed around. I didn't really understand how it all worked, but I had this kind of this tangential interest in it, and so it's kind of like hanging out on Geek Hack and just kind of playing around in there, here and there. And then I saw Reddit mechanical keyboards kind of just started out with what was his face?
Ripster.
Ripster, yeah. He started out mechanical keyboards, and so I was kind of like following that for a while, and I was like, I was always like pretty big on I don't know, I try to keep it with like the new trends and stuff like that, and I do a lot of I was doing a lot of typing for my work, so I was like, screw it, you know, people buy a nice pair of shoes when they go running a lot. Why the fuck? Pardon me. Why am I not?
You're good.
Why the fuck am I not, you know, using a nice keyboard? Because I'm typing all day long. And so, yeah, so I picked up a Cooler Master CM Storm with Browns, and it was a TKL, and yeah, it was fun, and I it was new. I mean, it wasn't the best keyboard, but it was definitely a good introduction for us. And oh yeah, I bought a novelty. I joined like a group by novelty in like 2016 or something for a Fallout themed double shot made by Signature Plastics with like had a little vault door on it and like a little bomb. And that was like my first thing. And then I started getting into artisans a little bit, and I was like following the sales and stuff. And yeah, I got like inspired by a lot of the other artists back in the day. There's like a couple big ones like Blizbinge and Clack, and Marcus was just getting going,
Yeah.
like or I should say Marcus and Kristen,
Nightcaps.
yeah, Nightcaps. We're just getting going, and yeah, so we just started making keys. And
yeah, we kind of started doing few different things.
We did a couple different things,
like end caps. We did blank chaos.
Yeah, we used to do something called Chaos Cap, which is like a custom
like
sculptured key that we made ourselves.
Did.
Yeah, and then we went to the first Seattle meetup we went to.
Brought coffee beans.
Yeah, we brought coffee bean end caps for the people in Seattle because we were like, whatever, you're gonna love that.
That's cool.
Yeah, a lot of people still remember it too. It's just nice because we just gave them out to our friends. We ran into them. We're like, hey, here's a key. Nice to see you. Yeah, so that's kind of like how we got going, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let's do it. And then
I was running 5 stores and an online store, and I don't know, it was exhausting for me to do the other job, and so eventually we just like segued into this, and it's a lot more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Just to be able to like contribute to the community, you know, in a way that you can like at least give a lot of people what they're asking for, make people happy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we've given some things.
Yeah,
we've done some things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's so neat to see how far it's come since we started.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Yeah.
So when did you guys officially start PrimeCaps?
The very end of 2016, I think. It was like
our first sale was November 2016. Or was it December? Was it?
I think so.
Yeah, we launched the Klaken, which is our Lisa's first like actual production sculpt. It's an extremely tall octopus.
It wasn't that tall, but it was fat.
It was tall.
Okay, it was tall and fat.
It was tall and fat.
Went through a couple iterations.
It was a chunk, yeah.
A lot of iterations.
Yeah, and it was, man, back then.
I've learned a lot of things about sculpting.
Learned a lot of stuff.
It's always a process.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like, you know, I think Chewy and I are not like super well versed in artisans, but it seems like a lot of the really popular artisan makers, they kind of stick to like 2 or 3 different designs, whereas y'all are like, you'll have like a little bit of everything. Like you don't necessarily stick to one thing and like, all right, we're just going to make this. Where do y'all get your ideas? Because they're all like super awesome, but they're super different. Like if you
I know,
scroll
right?
through,
I like to call it
so
our
many
creative
bangers.
ADHD.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like you have an idea. And you're like, well,
Yeah,
we could just do it all.
We run with. That's the thing. That's one thing that's
like
kind of like our style in a way. Is that it's one of our things where we just want to do. We like to do all of the things. It was just try it out and see if it works for us and see if we can express ourselves in that way and kind of push the boundary of what the art allows you to do.
Yeah, not everything works out.
Not everything works out, but we love to
learn a lot and we
learn a lot and we forge ground too, and it like you can see that work reflected in other people's work too. So even if like our work doesn't pan out or we don't like do a lot of runs with it, at least it's progressed the art in some way. At least that's what I would hope.
It's super awesome because it's like a really diverse portfolio and they're all like super high quality. Like you scroll through y'all's Instagram and it's just like, what can't they do?
yeah. I mean, well, end capping was like our big thing back then. We started with end capping.
That was interesting. Well, I liked both of it. I mean, there's like the sculpting vein and like doing that, and then there's like end caps and effects. I don't know. There's more to it than just.
There's two sides to it, and like that's kind of what one of like our strengths is, that like we kind of split it up, and each of us kind of had natural talents towards one or the other, which made it easier for us to kind of like balance out our workload and kind of work to our strengths, which came together pretty well. And it's starting to, I mean, as we progress, we're still able to move forward, and that's how I know that at least we're going in the right direction.
I have a very quick question because I'm kind of skimming through your website. Is this something that you guys made? Because this looks very similar.
That's a rainbow.
That's there's a photo. I actually have like a really nice macro of that one. Yeah.
So hold on real quick. I will be right back, but maybe ask another question. I'll be right
back. That's a rain brew. Yeah. That's cool. I actually have a really cool photo of a macro pad I can post in the. Let me see if I can find it and I'll post it in the Discord.
It's really
last October.
It's kind of funny because I feel like he's just like, wait, I have one of y'all's caps and I never knew that until literally this second.
Oh, that's hilarious. Where did he... Yeah, well, we've made a lot of caps. There's that old essay runs we were doing. We were actually looking to start doing some marbling again. We spent some time down at the Nightcaps Ranch, and it was so nice to work with those guys. It was it was so inspiring to get to see their workflow and kind of get to feel to kind of like get a look at how they look at the art as well, and kind of get an idea for we've got some projects going with them now too, which is really exciting, which are just about ready as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is this yours?
Just a second.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I bought. Okay, this is actually really funny because before I even knew you, I saw this and I showed it to my wife, and I was like, "Hey, this looks cool, and I think it would look cool on one of your boards." And then I realized I was like, "Oh, it's actually SA." I'm dumb for not realizing it. And then you guys sent me this one too, and I was like, "I have no idea what this is."
That was actually
okay. This has been like a mystery for me for forever. Like since the day I got it, I was like, "What on earth am I even looking at?"
There you go. That's a key.
Now it's going on a board.
Yeah,
it's going straight to my OSA now.
Yeah, we do.
Know it's from you guys.
We have a select run of sculpts that have only ever been like secretly released. So they're all like out in the wild without any. Yeah, it's all like been completely under the radar. So like people will just get them and they'll be like, "What is this?" It's like that's the whole kind of fun in those things that we kind of just we'll make stuff and then we just don't sell it, and so we'll just but yeah, that's the Kibuki. Yeah, Kibuki V2. Yeah.
I now know. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Answer this for me, because I'm just sitting here like, whatever. All right.
The colorway is called Snow Schism.
Snow Schism, orange and purple.
Yeah, it's like it should have like all the colors kind of like mixed into it to a certain extent. I'll post a picture in. I wish I had 2 Discords open right now. I could. What do you guys normally do? You guys go into general chat? Is that where you guys do it,
or for posts?
Yeah.
You can do keyboard chat. I think that's usually the most. But no, so you guys, if for those who don't know, one of their more popular, if not their most popular keycaps are sloths. So talking about GMK sloth and all of that, how did that start? And that seems to be one that we did talk about how you guys do kind of branch out and do a lot of different things, but you guys definitely stuck with the sloth colorway a good bit.
Soft, like sculpt.
The sculpt, yeah.
Sculpt. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really like Lurv a lot.
Yeah, that was kind of
make
like
him better.
Yeah, that was like for like a period of time we were looking in. That was like an aesthetic that we were looking to do was, to kind of like because people love their keyboards and whatnot, right?
And he's just like,
yeah, that was the whole thing.
He's always like looking up at you
right?
from your keyboard, and you just look. And you're like,
It's supposed to make you feel good, yeah.
It's just, I don't know, warm fuzzies on your board.
We do look to explore that a bit more too coming up.
And I did a skull, the opposite.
Oh yeah. Oh, the Nether skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did another skull because it's kind of like it's a tradition for makers to produce a skull, yeah. And we figured we'd carry on the tradition.
So we did another.
So we did another skull. Get it?
So clever.
I know, right?
Yeah. We'll have another.
So what would you?
Go ahead, sorry.
No worries. What would you say is one of the, I guess, more challenging aspects of creating? I know, just because I've been on calls with you so many times, you guys are casting a lot and working a lot. What's one of the biggest challenges in maybe starting from like when you have a thought process of like, oh, let's make that, to getting something you're happy with?
Oh, it's the process is the thing.
Yeah.
It's all one long continuous process that can stretch for months at a time. And like managing that entire process is really challenging.
Yeah. Being able to see it all and like
you have to like plan it all out from scratch.
Okay,
yeah.
Well,
even making a really nice high quality blank is very difficult.
Okay, well, you have so many processes to get like it.
Yeah, it's like back and forth bouncing between like different processes
and molding and casting
back and forth. Yeah, it's tedious. I would say the tedium can really get, and that's one thing that most people don't see either. Is they're like, oh, you're all just, it's like,
or
you have to understand how many like hours I've like gotten tennis elbow from just like,
or when you like you go through the process and you get to almost the end and you're like,
oh yeah,
this is wrong.
Yeah,
like, we have to start again.
Yeah, we burnt like 100 hours at a time.
Like,
yeah,
and you're just like, I don't want to do this again, but I have to.
Yeah, you get forced to read stuff like 3-4 times, and by the fourth time you're
like, I'm gonna do this.
It's one of those things where it takes a lot of patience, and that's probably one of the things that it's taught us the most out of all of it is patience. Yeah,
take it again.
You just have to do it over and over and over.
Fail sometimes, but
yeah, and you have to know that it's going to fail and know that you have to learn from each failure.
Learn from it.
Yeah.
Which colorway of the Lurv was the most difficult?
Most difficult.
Oh, I mean,
probably
I would
the
say,
Zelda ones.
Yeah, 8-bit trio.
Trio was pretty tricky. We did like Zelda, Ganondorf, and
it was Zelda,
Link.
Ganondorf, and Link. Yeah, and
very
let me post a picture.
They all had like a little Triforce heart.
Yeah, each one had an actual tiny little hand sculpted polymer clay solid Triforce in the heart.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And so just how intricate the like.
And then the colorways were intricate as well for the Lurv. Yeah.
So like, how long does each one of those take? Like when you have to do something that intricate?
Like 5 to 7 hours, perhaps.
I mean, the longest a casting will take me usually in it is like a 14 or 15 hour day, where like you'll get up and start work at like 8 or 9,
some
and then
and
then you'll run until like 1 a.m.
They're 2 parts.
Yeah. The multi-part ones,
it takes, food caps.
And you can't stop working too. It's like you if you stop working, it'll like mess everything. So it's one of those ones where you just have to keep pushing. Where is it?
So
the 8-bit trio. It was in like April.
Anyways, I'll find it while we talk.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking. I love the what was it? What was this just called? I'm looking at your swirl SA caps. The hype. That's a cool colorway.
Only a couple of those ones didn't turn out. 3 or 4 of that one.
All right, I'm focusing this on Max on deck again. If you guys want, I can make Imgerling.
I mean, this is fine. You can join our Discord for those who have not been in our Discord.
I guess so. Yeah, and that was like that was before we actually like kind of knew a lot about resin writing too, which made it extra hard because we were working against gravity.
Yeah, that was tricky.
So yeah, there's a lot of little tricks to it. We end capped a little tiny like jewel in each of their foreheads.
Oh, just those two.
Oh no, just those two. Yeah, obviously not on.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's cool. But when you start hearing like the complexities of it, it's just like even crazier.
Yeah, like each of those colors, you have to like do it and then wait.
Yeah.
Do it and wait.
That's the interesting thing about resin casting too, is like you have to kind of understand the history of it and why people do it. And it goes back to like the double shot nature of keycaps. You know, all the highest quality keycaps have always been double shot. And so the reason you resin cast and not paint is because if you painted it, it would rub off eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So with like a resin cast key, it's like it's solid all the way through. So you could like grind it away and it would still be the same color. That's the benefit of it.
Please don't grind.
Please don't grind the keys. Yeah.
We had someone once like burn the back of the key.
Yeah, back when we were doing chaos caps.
It
had
like a different stamp.
Yeah, so our original caps had a square stem on them, and he had circular silencers on the top of his switches. And it made it so that only keys with circular stems could work through it. And instead of just taking the circular silencer off of the top of the switch or talking to us, he like blowtorched the bottom of the key and then complained about it on Reddit. I was like, oh my God.
Let me talk about this problem that I completely created for myself and shame the owner.
I bought these new pair of shoes and then I set them on.
That was our original jazz cap too.
Yeah.
That was actually that was like our original big cap that we did back in the day before. Was it pre-deep field?
It was probably in like
deep field. It was around the same time. No, because it was jazz cap.
That was one of the first we may have
we weren't
done
doing
it
deep
before.
field or we weren't doing deep field in chaos caps, were we? I don't think so.
Well, I guess not.
Yeah. So
it was pre.
Yeah, the jazz cap was like it was just like the solo jazz cup design inside of a keycap, essentially cherry key.
People still ask for them.
People still want them.
I'm not making any more.
Yeah, Lisa made like 500 of those.
No, I didn't make that.
It wasn't that many, but it was a lot.
I had to do them in different.
And we weren't very good at casting back then either, so we had to redo them all. It was a challenge.
There were things in it I didn't understand. Like it's just looking back, I'm like, oh, of course it was that.
Yeah.
I will say, of all the caps that I've seen y'all do, my favorite are the different food ones, like the breakfast ones, the sushi ones. Like, like how much time does it take to piece together each? Because I'm assuming you have to do each little bit of like the sushi.
Yeah, she makes those. They're all
handmade. I don't know, like a set of 20 will take me 3 hours, maybe, if I've made it before. I know what I'm doing. That's maybe.
I don't know.
Hard to say. It depends on the sushi.
Yeah,
because some of them take a lot more time.
Think about how long some of the other ones take. Like the ramen's taking days to make.
Oh yeah, that's the most intricate one.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the people that make like I've seen the videos of people who make like a burrito for a hamster.
Oh, yeah.
So they make like real tiny. I'm like, I couldn't do that.
I've seen a couple of those. I like Tiny Kitchen or whatever.
The Tiny Kitchen ones, yeah. That's kind of what it's. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is everyone's got that aesthetic where I don't know. It gives me like memories for some reason. Like I get like nostalgia stuff when I look at miniatures like that. That's kind of one of the reasons I really like working in that size.
I like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I like the hamburger one.
The hamburger one. We did like a Flavor Town one.
Oh yeah, I remember the Flavor Town.
Yeah.
So what do you have on your board right now? Do you have an artisan, or are you one of those people that go, I make artisans, but I don't get anywhere near them?
I have a Moondrop on mine right now.
And you have that.
And I've got a Laravel.
The High Pro has like stabilizers underneath.
Yeah, you can't use the High Pro.
Really,
but
like,
Lisa's old board was like straight up, like entirely 100% artisan.
It's terrible.
Awesome.
No, not quite, but it was very colorful.
Yeah, and for a while there,
I really liked it.
Yeah,
you should get one of those like Prime M macro pads. It's like the 16 key macro pad. and just like completely cover it.
Yeah.
I'll probably just take my old board and like use it as my artisan display and like put it on the wall or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just make a little case for it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like,
Then I can look at them still.
do you like always try to keep like one of runs? Like, do you try to,
Kinda.
or is it like, oh, this is my
I
favorite?
mean, normally I keep the B stocks normally.
Yeah, we keep the B stocks. Yeah.
Because I need to sell my works.
Yeah, we usually sell all the good ones to people, and sometimes we'll give one away, one of the B
Sometimes you
stocks to
give-
our friends or something like
Yeah, we
that.
get them sometimes, but
Yeah.
sometimes you just forget to keep one.
Yeah.
But I have most of like the lurbs that I've done, and we have a big bin of other ones that I'm sure I could go through to find.
Yeah, we've got like literally like a, I don't know, what is that? What is that? Like an
Tupperware container.
It's one of the large size totes filled with stock.
Dumped all the Legos out first.
We'll have to take a photo of it one day and just post it online or something like that. It's an incredible amount of keys.
Someone's gonna be like, how much for the entire tub?
I mean, they're just not all of them are good.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? It's probably like, I don't know, a couple thousand keys.
Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Yeah.
It's
I know,
savings.
right?
It's your savings account sitting.
Yeah.
Nah, I only want to.
And it's
give
old.
people
They're
the good
old. They
stuff.
use old resin. Yeah, we switched. We got better resin now and stuff like that.
Yep.
So.
And so with that like being said, like how has your process changed like as you've gone from just starting out to now where you're kind of like a well-oiled machine at this point of making caps?
I mean, it's all about refining the process. That's like our main thing that we focus on. Well, at least that's like one of my big focuses, trying to nail our process down and streamline everything. I mean, a lot of the things that we've changed, well, we had to do a huge change where we switched resins because I don't know if people know it there, but Smooth On 326 and 327 contain mercury, and it like messed me up. So like I was using 326, 327. It's not like necessarily having keys is going to be bad for you, but we were sanding a lot of them.
Hand sanding at that time.
We were hand sanding them, and we switched off to a new like mercury free resin, and it was a huge learning curve because I had to readapt all of my techniques to work in that material, and it's completely different, like forms. So there's definitely a learning curve, but the new stuff is way better. Like the Smooth On stuff has like a yellowing to it, which messed with colors and stuff like that, which this doesn't. So yeah, a big part is finding new materials that work better, and then the other one is just refining how we do technique, tweaking all the little things,
trying slightly things,
improving sculpting. Yeah, a lot of it is like trying to figure out how to sculpt in a way that is like the proper geometry for casting
to like hold resin and like come out of the molds.
Yeah, you want the molds to last and stuff too, because it's a lot of work to make. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, I know we kind of getting lost in if we talked about it right before the stream or during the stream, but the tooth keys, the teeth key,
the dental plan,
the dental plan. So just go through the process. I don't even know.
Okay,
like,
so
I know you talked about it a little bit off, like just personally, but like that's for those who don't know. Her teeth are inside of a cap.
Okay, so I knew we were going to the Nightcaps brand. I was sitting on the couch eating some chips, some like Munchie Mix, Doritos, pretzels, and cheesies, and I feel something much harder in my mouth than chips, and I'm like, that's my tooth. And so, like, well, I guess I should probably put it in a dental plan because I don't have one of those. So I brought it with me and I put it in a vise and I put it in a mortar and pestle and ground it up. And I used my tooth matter, my tooth dust, to color the front teeth of one of Nightcaps' dental plan.
You made a porcelain out of her own teeth, essentially.
Basically, yeah. I guess
that
so.
Sound, I'm sure, was just I'm literally
it wasn't
like
as bad as I thought.
cringing.
I was like, oh, I want to I have this idea, I want to do this, but I don't know if I can like actually crush it myself. Like I felt like I feel it, but I didn't. It was just in my head.
A bunch of people after we did that were like, "Hey, can we send you our teeth?" And we were like,
"No, I don't want any more teeth. This
don't
was
send your body parts in
time.
the mail."
It was fun. Just my creative art thing.
Yeah.
So like, I have one of them.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
don't know. It was just a thing
It was fun.
I
yeah.
wanted to do, and I did it. And
Yeah, she had plans to do that when we went in. She executed it. Cool.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm happy how it turned out, and
Mhm.
I had a bit of tooth dust left over, and me and my other friend made another kind of like similar cap to it. But yeah.
Mm. Was that with Liam?
No, with Kelly.
Oh, Kelly, yeah.
That's it. I remember we were playing games that night, and you showed us, and the one that had the little bit of the like Dorito dust still in, like
Yeah.
oh, it's like one of those things that makes me like shiver,
authentic.
but it's just like it's so cool, like so unique.
Yeah, it's kind of divisive, but
Yeah.
If you want to clone her, you can just get that cap and get the DNA from it and everything. Easy.
yeah, at least it sounds.
The bacon and egg. The bacon and egg
that-
face was mine.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Muzola says make a resin tooth for yourself now.
Oh,
I already
jeez.
got it.
Yeah.
Probably kind of resin.
Maybe, yeah.
know, what do
I
they
can see that being
fix your
resin,
teeth
yeah.
with?
Titanium? Yeah.
Someone says that's a good segue into John Hammond caps. I have no idea what John.
Oh
Hammond
man,
caps
I
are.
gotta do those again.
It's like insects.
Someone on
Is-
Reddit was nice enough to send me. Okay, so you remember John Hammond off of Jurassic Park?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He had like a staff that had like he was obsessed with the mosquito in the amber. So we did like a run where we did mosquitoes in amber, and it was called the John Hammond Collection.
But
And
like after that, it was like there were no mosquitoes
yeah,
that
we
year.
were gonna do
like,
more, and then
yeah,
like
let's
we
do it.
did,
And they were
no
like,
mosquitoes came that year for some
okay,
reason. They were all like dead or
where are they
gone.
all?
They were just gone. And so someone who worked in I guess like a infectious disease research place sent me a bunch of mosquitoes. So I'll be able to make some of those.
I was about to
Sure,
say,
got around to it.
how does one get a mosquito that's dead but not like smushed? Because my first response to mosquitoes is kill them.
Smack.
I know, right? You have to be
Sometimes
really...
you can find them on the windowsill.
Yeah, I mean the secret to actually catching them is you take really fine mesh and then you put it over a fan sucking, and they'll get sucked against the mesh and held there. Go back. Then what you do is you bring it inside and then you turn the fan off and they all come loose. And then you
Inside.
yeah.
It's crazy.
But that's half the battle, right? And then you got to just wrangle them down into the key by you go like this, and they eventually will land in the key, and then you just kidding.
That would be sick though if it was like caught live.
Yeah. No, it's not that easy.
Some mosquito living the rest of his life inside of a keycap.
Yeah.
Does it seem weird to anyone else? Someone who works.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think that these ones were infected. I think that they were just doing tests on like the breeding or something like that, on like the reproduction. I don't know. Yeah, there was a special note enclosed in it that like for customs and stuff. He figured it all out. I hope that it doesn't have like Zika or something like that, but I don't plan on having any kids. Yeah.
That would be a real bummer if I got Zika.
How'd you get Zika? I was making keys.
I was making a keycap.
That would be
Also,
interesting.
I took too much asbestos in my mouth.
It was a work-related injury.
Get that on workers' comp.
Yeah.
So I know y'all did. I'm looking at the Instagrams, and I saw that y'all did bees as well. Do you plan on doing any other insects?
Yeah, actually, I got a grasshopper that I was going to do inside of a backspace. Yeah, and I just haven't done it. I just haven't had time to do it yet. It's a big so with those. I have like a fun casting thing. It's like called fun casting for me, where because like most of the time, like on fun casting, you end up spending the amount of work it would take to make, I don't know, 10 or 20 keys on a single key. So it's never really like an economical use of time, let's just say.
It's just a creative.
It would be like a day's work
endeavor.
to make a single backspace.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the insects ones are very particular because they've got air trapped inside of them.
Mhm.
And we work a lot in like pressures and stuff like that, and that can really mess with things with air trapped inside. So
Yeah.
there's like all these precautions you have to do and like pre-work you have to do on the actual insect itself in order to make sure that it doesn't like implode when you make it. Or it'll just be like and like crush down into this little like
Whoops.
thing.
And then a day's work is just gone.
Yeah, you have to find it.
Well,
We try
I
not
only
to
have one of the insect. Like we try not
We
to
don't
kill insects.
kill
So like this is just things that we find, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
Tiny scorpion.
Yeah, you want to
Dude.
mail me some scorpions?
dude, it would be. I was literally just about to say. Well, not mantis heads. I was gonna say it would be sweet to have a praying mantis and a space bar.
Yo, that would be dope. Or like a centipede or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get one of those super poisonous ones that like pull your skin in and bite you.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah, dude,
maybe a little
totally.
bit much from that one, but
Listen, that'd be amazing.
Wait, something sucks your skin into it and then bites
It's like one of the most painful
Oh.
Remember
bites.
like that guy?
Oh, the guy
Yeah,
on
the guy who's just
YouTube.
like,
Yeah.
give it to me and gets
Yeah.
it, and he like straight up passes out. And they had to like resuscitate him. That was crazy.
We're moving into old-timey belt buckle territory here, you guys. It's like
Yeah,
tiny
we
snakes
are,
and
right?
scorpions. And, like, what are we making here? Neckties?
I'm gonna need a bolo
Yeah, I was
tie
gonna
and a space bar.
Can I have
real
one with
soon.
a tiny little bullet and then 2 scorpions cresting over it? And
Although honestly, that would actually be cool if you did like on a Sangan layout, where like each alt was like a guy, like a cowboy, and then you had like bullets whizzing by in the space bar. That'd be a cool.
that sounds like fun, yeah.
you could like
It's like a 3-cap thing.
do it where it's like you could make some like dust and fire behind the bullet, make it look like it's
Yeah.
flying.
Getting blasted out.
Yeah.
That'd be
On one side you have the bullet, on the other side you have the casing.
Interesting.
Boom.
Yeah,
Just
that does
throwing
sound
you
really
idea.
cool.
These ideas are cost you the end product.
We're from Texas. We've got tons
Yep.
of
Get a hay bale that goes across.
What?
Exactly. Hay bale in there. Whatever. I digress. So, what would you think about beard hair, bro?
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it.
I mean, if you want, I'll do it for you. I don't normally handle other people's like bodily stuff, but for you, I'll do it.
I don't know, man. Our beard. See, if you got a little close, like your beard's kind of red like mine.
It is.
If you got a little too close, you might just accidentally mix some of yours in there too.
It happens.
Ooh, that could be a magical key.
We have hair. Yeah, it goes into keys sometimes. It's really annoying. You open the key and there'll be a hair sticking out of the bottom. And
That
you're
isn't
like,
often.
it doesn't happen often. It happens once in a while though.
Times.
Yeah.
Crazy things happen in studio.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you could put some beard in there if you want. What do you want, like a space bar with like your entire beard in it?
Give me a B key.
just a
Easy.
beaky with his
Beef
beard.
beards.
Yeah.
So what would you guys say are if you had to pick, let's say 3 favorites, what of your artisans that you've personally made, what would they be, each of you? Hundreds of caps.
Yeah, I've probably made like, I don't know, like 5,000 keys or something like that.
Jeez.
I mean, I really enjoy the skulls that I just made.
Another skull.
The Dia de la Muertos.
Oh, the Dia de
ones,
Muertos.
like sugar skulls. And they're all like resin written. Those are pretty. One of my lurves definitely like, it's either like the bamboo one, which is bambooya, or I did like a tiger one, and only a couple of them worked out. But Tigar, and it looks like a tiger.
No,
I mean, I really like the Kizushis
In Flavor
myself.
Town.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Kazushis.
And I really liked the I liked the waffle and pancake cruisers
I
a lot.
do love waffles.
Yeah.
It's hard. They're all like.
Like I said, end cap, some dank. Here's some. Oh, sure. Wait,
Stash TV, welcome. So, I'm trying to think.
I did make a chicken and waffles. It's the Tendago Cruiser.
Yeah, Lisa made a Tendago Cruiser.
It's got
It's chicken. It's tendies and Eggos. Tendagos.
Yeah. We made that and then we ate it.
Yeah. Yeah, we made it and took photos on it and then ate it.
Well,
yeah. Here, I'll post a picture.
That was.
It's in the general there.
There you go.
Yeah, that was right after Binge from Hungerworks Studios. Or that's right when he was here.
Yeah.
So like he was over hanging out with Marcus at Nightcaps before
Seattle,
and then him and Marcus came up with this idea and it came up, and then we made it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a 4-way, if you know what I mean. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, wink. Say no more.
That's awesome. Yeah. Chicken and waffles.
Make me hungry.
Yeah.
Chicken and waffles are all.
Is there anything you guys are working on now that you can maybe give out to maybe a hint or anything you want to do?
I mean, we have a few more caps coming out from the collabs that we've had this year.
Yeah, we've got 2 collab caps in the works right now, which are both nearing fruition right now.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, we got one going on with Hungerworks Studios, and we have one with Nightcaps.
And they're another like new sculpt esque type thing.
Yeah.
One's a sculpt and one's
Yeah. And so those are like coming up right on the horizon here. We just have to get our move out of the way, and then those will probably go into production right after that. Aside from that, we've got we've got a whole brand new GMK run that we're getting of blanks. So we're gonna re-release the Navigator sets that we did a couple months ago, but it's gonna be in the new form. So they're just gonna be a little nicer, a little better fit, a little better underside. Everything will we always go back and remake them and try to improve
these
them.
aren't good anymore. Let's do it again.
Yeah, and then aside from that, we might be having a sushi fulfillment sale coming up soon. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We had a lot of people that really wanted them, and so we figured we may as well just like
try and make some more of a certain set. And
there's so much work to make that we figured we may as well just do it all in one go so that everyone who wanted one can have one, because it ends up eating up like a month of time just for the process. And so we figured we may as well just make like 100 or something at a time rather than doing the little runs and bouncing back and forth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's another question I wanted to ask. With the way that the community is right now, where it's growing like exponentially every day, it seems like, how do y'all deal with the constant demand, especially for things that you haven't made in a long time or that you've like never really planned on making again?
It's quite difficult.
It's just like you can't make it all, or it's not.
Yeah, I mean, we even used to accept commissions for a while, but we just got to a point where we just can't. Yeah, we just have to make what we want to make. I've got a really big thing about taking care of people. So like I have like our popular collections that I'll always revisit. So as long as people are following us, or a mailing list or Instagram or whatever, you will have a chance to get the collection again if it's one of the popular ones. As far as like colorways for sculpts, we don't ever remake though. So it's like we've kind of like split ourselves in that way. Whereas like if you want blank and you want a popular colorway, chances are you'll be able to get one. But sculpts, you're gonna have to find it in the aftermarket. Yeah. Just that way we can, it's kind of like we kind of tried to make ourselves a bit more open to like some of the new people in that way. Whereas like if you're just a beginner and you want to you can't even like figure it out. You've got an easier option for figuring out how the raffle system
we still
works.
have our site and we post things on our site sometimes. It's kind of easier for people to get into it, but
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Does
that make sense?
Mainly
I don't
asking
know.
people to just join our mailing list so they can keep up to date with what we're doing now.
The mailing list is really good for that. Yeah, we always give people a heads up before stuff goes live. But yeah, no, you're right. I get like 30 messages on Instagram a day. And a lot of them are like people who are really new. So they're like, can I use this on my keyboard? And I'm like, I don't know what keyboard you have. And, and you have to have patience, right? Because everyone was there once. And so I was like, just look at the FAQ, or, I try to help them a little bit. But that's one thing that can get a little exhausting, is you have to be kind of like a guide for, a whole bunch of new people all the time. And that's one thing that I'm starting to notice now as it's growing, is it's just like the sheer volume of new people getting into the
But no, it totally makes sense what you're saying, because it's like, in terms of like having some things readily available, having some things that you're going to redo, and then having some things that you're never going to do again, or you're not going to revisit, because it also, like, obviously a big thing in artisans is like having things that are highly sought after. A lot of people will, like, the collectors want things like, oh, I know there's only 10 of these, I know there's only 2 of these. So that kind of scratches that itch for those people, and then it helps out the people who are new as well, being like, oh, this is awesome, but it was posted a year ago, and then it's like, oh, you can get it again maybe in a couple months.
Well, that's the big trouble for us, is that there's like 2 major groups that we want to take care of, like, all of our fans. Like, the fans, some of our fans are, just
very different.
They're very different. Like, so some fans are they just don't really like get how the community works, right? And so, I feel bad for them, because they're like, I want these. Why can't I ever get these keys? Like, constantly, and I'm like,
figure it out. Get in there.
Yeah, I'm like, just come on, you can just enter the raffle. You can do it. And they're like, but I thought it was a giveaway. I'm like,
no, it's not a giveaway.
No, it's no, you just gotta balance too, and try to understand where people are coming from that sense. Try to offer some stuff up for each group. We've been leaning a lot more towards like the more collections end of things with some of our sculpts, but we always keep up with the blanks, because it's just so universally loved.
Yeah, not everybody's into sculpts.
Exactly.
And so how often are y'all doing like sculpts and like doing raffles, I guess, for different camps at this point?
I mean, we've been doing a fair amount of
We do like a
sculpts recently.
couple raffles a week, or a raffle. We do a raffle of a couple colorways a week, I would say.
Yeah, it's hard because we're always
it ebbs and flows depending on like our projects. Yeah, so yeah, it all depends on the timescales for like the project. Like with the sushis, we'll work for longer on one project to get like 5 batches of them ready to go, rather than just doing like 1 or 2 at a time. So yeah, typically speaking, yeah, we would get like 1 or 2 colorways done a week, something like that. Yeah.
And so y'all have been doing lots of like collabs, and you talked about you've got a couple collabs in the works. How does that process like work? How do you go about getting that? How does the ideas kind of flow?
Different with everyone that you work with.
It's totally depends on the artist. Yeah. It's all about how your style and their style intermeshes together, and that's kind of why it's so interesting for people and why people like it so much.
You just get to see how differently people do the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, I never thought of that.
Everyone
or like,
approaches the problems differently. And I think for like people who are really into the art form, they start to see the different styles, and then it's super interesting for them to see the styles combined. That's exciting. So each person is different, and you kind of like down and kind of talk about ideas and
how you want to go through. How much time you have, like
how much time you have, and what each person kind of expectations are for the project.
So you just did. So I'm sorry if I'm bad on the name. it's GMK Splash, right?
Oh yeah, we're working on GMK Splash. We just started working on GMK Splash, with a couple other makers, and that's a remake of
Hydro.
Yeah, of SA Hydro.
Hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just a classic, right? So we're gonna be like that. We're gonna do a couple. I don't know. We'll figure out some colorways for that. We're still working on it.
What's it like working with keycap designers and getting an artisan made and
it's
colors
great
and all that?
I'll tell you right now, man, it's a dream having someone be like, here's the color chip.
Make this color. Okay.
Because there's so many times that people are like, hey, can you look at this digital image and see that in the real world? And okay. Wait, you want this to match? And it's like, that's the thing, right? They know a lot more about the colors. And like, that's really what it boils down to when you're working with someone on a set is the colors. And the closer they can get you to that finishing point of, this is the exact color that you need to make, you can hold it in front of your face and see it under the different lights and be able to match that, the easier your job's going to be. So, I mean, aside from that, it's all the same, right? Like you're just making caps and you're selling them. Might be a little easier if they're taking shipping for you. But yeah, aside from that, it's like I said, it's a dream having someone provide you with colors because coming up with good colorways is part of one of the most difficult aspects of producing. Yeah.
And I'm sure it's different.
So, yeah.
I'm sure it's different every time, but like, do they typically, are they like free reign, do whatever you want?
Wait, I just lost sound. Hold on 2 seconds. Just 1 sec.
No worries.
I think we're back.
There
We're back.
Good?
Yeah.
Good? You good? Okay.
Yes.
So I know it's it's probably different with every designer in some capacity, but do they typically just be like, yeah, do whatever you want, do whatever sculpt you want? Or are they like, hey, I have this in mind. Could you do a colorway of a cap you've already done for those key set designers?
Normally they won't ever ask you to make a sculpt. That's something will typically over the line. I would only think that if you're actually working on the key set yourself, you would make a sculpt. But
I don't think he's saying creative.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. You would just essentially what they would do. No, I mean, from my experience, they've all just been like, come up with a colorway, go with it. And they leave it up to you. I mean, most of the people who are like, it's like how I wouldn't be like, hey, make the legends like this, right? Because I know that they've done all the work, right? And so I think that they approach it that same way. They're like, well, this person makes keys, so I'm just going to give them, where to start. And
here's your inspiration.
Yeah.
Make it together.
Yeah.
Make something.
And yeah, I mean, with them, I just kind of bounce ideas off them, and yeah. I just come up with some stuff and send some pictures over. I'm sure it'll look good, right?
If not, it goes in the bin.
Yeah. If not, it goes in the bin. Yeah.
So, well, if you guys have any questions, please ask away in the chat.
Yeah, let's hear some questions. If people want to. I know it's kind of a different subject for people because most of you guys do is keyboards, right?
Yep.
So
you are our first artisan creator
Nice.
on.
There you go.
So I don't mind artisans, but a lot of some of my issues that stem from artisans, not honestly nothing from like, oh, I hate artisans. I mean, there are definitely artisan caps that like I don't get or I just don't really like artistically, and then there are some that I love. But on like a 60% board, you don't have a lot of wiggle room, and if it's not in the exact same color, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Some people love that, but not for me. But now that I've got, like, recently I have the OSA, which page up, page down, delete outside of the standard 60% keys, I'm like, oh, now I can have a little more fun with like the keycaps. And since it's kind of just a gray on gray board and caps, I'm like, oh, okay, I can have a little fun, make it a little flashy.
Yeah.
I've got one of my favorite artisans. I just threw it in. Yeah. I don't know exactly who made it, but I'm a huge fan of like Gundams. So I'm really excited. A little Gundam head, GPO1, I believe.
Yeah. It's interesting though. Yeah, see, that's one of the things is like with what you're saying about the colors not matching. It's you almost have to look for an artisan that's gonna accent it rather than something that's gonna match the colors. That's what I would say is like your best bet for finding like matching it well. And that's honestly why we do blanks. And for that person asking in the chat, yeah, we are gonna stock more cherry. Yeah. Like I said, we're just finishing up the new set. So like we should be in production early November and have stuff ready. Yeah, well, no, we're gonna be right back in production probably by like the 7th or 8th, I would think, yeah. But yeah, we should. Yeah. What are we gonna have to do? It's not gonna take days to get stuff, right?
No, we'll figure it out.
Just
we'll get them
throw the bed in, and then we can just start working.
on the bed.
Yeah. You've got a bed and you've got your tools. You're good.
Set up the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Gundam is from Key. I did buy it from Key Clock. I actually bought it when I bought. I just don't know if he made it or if he had it made.
Oh, it's a 3D printed.
Oh, well then there you go. Don't know. It's a cool one.
Yeah,
wouldn't mind a ramen, Lisa.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
We were gonna. Well, we actually put them on hold because
this month was just crazy.
It's crazy this month, and we were gonna we were thinking about remaking them in the new UK set. Yeah, to make it even more
better.
A little bit better. Yeah, you get it.
Dang.
Yeah.
Save me space in your board there. For the
ramen. Save some space.
No, there's trust me.
I got the bowls done.
Page down is ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm neither Chewy definitely has a few more artisans than I do. I only have one,
like 5 of them.
Which Chewy actually gave to me, and it's a little Osiris. I'll put it to where y'all can see.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, nice.
And
yeah,
I thought it was fitting.
That's perfect.
So chat can see it.
I need a Chewbacca artisan.
Oh yeah.
You could get a.
But I'm definitely
get a Kiwok, yeah.
I'm definitely in the same boat as Chewy. Getting the OSA now, it's like I was talking with some buddies at the meetup we went to this past weekend, and it's like I need 3 artisans to put on the edge. Like
you got it, man.
You
just gotta figure out which one like matched your like aesthetic perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I feel like artisans are definitely one of those things too. A lot of people are like, it's like you're either super into it or you're like kind of just like, it's all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's quite divisive in that sense.
Which is why All Hex goes, be careful.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. I mean,
certainly get into the rabbit hole of it.
I have 2 of the 5 that I've bought. I was disappointed in. One was like a little hyperfused dog, and it was just the color was really off. And
was it?
I thought, it was. I have no idea. I'm not trying to like shame this person. I don't know who made this. Either that or maybe it's you guys. I don't know. It says PK on it. Sorry if I'm ripping you guys.
Pup keys.
Oh, that's
Pup
that's
keys. Okay. It says PK, and I was like, crap. I hope I'm not just like these guys are terrible.
That would be PC.
No, we've
PC, yeah. But like it was fine. But I was like, okay, it's like so dark purple. Like I get what they were trying to do on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't really come out on top, so it didn't match anything. And I like that it's a little cool. It's a cool little dog, but it doesn't really match. And then I got one that I have as more of just like, don't buy with your eyes, buy with your brain, because I thought it was a dog, and I was like, that's so cool, and I want it, and it wound up being a bat.
Okay.
It was this orange. It looks like a candy corn, and it's a bat with wings. I was like, this is not a dog, and I don't care about bats. I have nothing against them, but it's not like something that I'm just like, heck yeah, bats. And it's also like tall.
I love bats.
I love candy corn and I love bats, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
I also celebrate Halloween all year round.
Yeah, I try to not look into artisans too much, because I'm like, if I start looking into it, then I'll want to buy them, and then all of a sudden I'll have even less money than I already do for being into keyboards. So it's like,
it wasn't super big deal for me. You know, I was pretty good about. I just buy ones when it caught my eye.
Well, we got a couple. We bought a couple, and then we trade people for them.
We trade a lot of them, yeah. And like that's really what it is. Is like for a lot of people, it's not about buying the artisans. It's about trading the artisans. And like once you get a couple, you just trade them around. And then you don't really have to. You're not
Like
so you don't like go into it being like I'm gonna have to buy every key I'm gonna own. It's more like I'm gonna buy a couple and then I'll trade them or sell them when I want something new, and then that's how you end up with the new stuff. And then you'll get random stuff that you weren't even expecting, or like things that you didn't even know you want. And that's kind of I think where a lot of people get the fun out of. It's like
why pay $130 for a set when you can pay double for one cap?
Well, that's the thing, and then on top of that, the cap that they bought will sell for 3 times what they paid.
That's
and so they'll
crazy.
be like, I bought this key, and then they buy a keyboard with it or something. So
That happens.
It happens. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. So I think that's what it boils down to is, there's a whole bunch of aspects beyond where you guys, I mean, in your sense, where if you're just buying it to own it and you just want an accent, you really got to be choosy about it,
Right.
and be like, but if you're buying it because you just want to like participate and like you like the key or you like the maker, then it's like, there's a whole different.
It's almost like a trading card game.
Exactly. And I think people will buy stuff for trading and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of trade fodder.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Absolutely. It's definitely an interesting aspect to the hobby. Like it's like the next level. Like you get into keyboards and you're like, man, I'm crazy for spending this much on keyboards. Then you get into like key sets and you're like, right, this is crazy. And then you get into artisans and you're like, what am I doing? Like, or there's some people I'm sure that are just like not into anything else. And they're just like, I have a mechanical keyboard and I have a ton of artisans.
Yep.
Well, there are a lot of people that use the alt, or master, or maybe control, whichever one's the TKL, and they're like, that's their board, and then they have like 30 artisans on it, and they're like, yeah, I love my alt. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the alt. It's not really anything special, but it's not something that's like insane. And so, but then they have 10 times the value of the board on their effort.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Well, I mean, like some keys are worth $2,000 each. It can get really up there.
That's crazy.
So it's it's just, I mean, it just depends on what your interests are, and that's more of like on the art things. A lot of people look at it like collecting art in that sense.
Yeah.
And it's so.
I mean,
it's tiny little art.
Yeah, it's just like a bridging the gap between the functional, right, and
the aesthetic.
And it's like the yin and the yang to the keyboard, or it's like the yin to the keyboard's yang in a way, whereas like each one has a place in a way, and like some people will like one more than the other, and that's kind of just how it is.
Yeah, I've seen someone describe it as people who are into keyboards look at artisans, or people who are into artisans the same way people who are not into keyboards look at people who are into keyboards. It's like, that person's crazy, and you're like, yeah, but you're the one buying $400 keyboards, and then the person behind you is like, you guys are both insane.
No one in the artisan community ever really, well, I shouldn't say no one, but I don't really often see anyone judging anyone in the regular keyboard community for buying keyboards.
Yeah.
I normally only ever see people in the regular community hating on people for buying artisans.
Well, that's
yeah, because they're like, they don't understand it. But it's like, I understand. It's just one of those contentious topics for some people, and people can't see the value in it. And like, that's the thing. It's like, if you can't see the value, I mean, I'm not going to be trying to convince you. It's a handmade thing by an artist who spends like their entire life work focused on this thing. Yeah. And if you can't appreciate that, that's fine. I mean, just don't. It's just not really nice to hate on other people for enjoying, something in the community. And so that's kind of my stance on it.
I mean, we've got literally, there's art right here. I've got Funko. I mean, everyone has that one form of thing where someone else would be like, why? It's like, well, because I enjoy it. It's pretty to look at.
Yeah.
If it may, like, it's kind of a harsh term for it, but it's just like, screw you for being mad at me being happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how often do we see that nowadays in society?
No, just in general, yeah.
Just trying to tear down other people. But like I said, it's most of the time you don't see it often. Most people are positive. Typically, it's just someone who doesn't really understand what it's all about, and if they did, they probably wouldn't feel the way that they do.
Yeah.
When people look at an artisan, at first, what they think is that it's a mass-produced thing. And they're like, they can't understand why anyone would pay for it. And it's like, even when dealing with us, people don't realize that it's just like, it's just us. You know, we don't have like a
Sounds-
team or customer support.
So that big
people-
warehouse of
Yeah, it's just us making stuff, and people be like, oh, like, you know, well, we're really fast about stuff, so we don't really have issues, but people get kind of weird about that, and it's like you have to understand that the maker's just on their own a lot of the time, and
Yeah.
you know, it's
You're
not.
devoting hours to each single cap. It's like,
Yeah.
like there's so much time that goes in each one of them. That's why it is art. It is like a piece of art. It's a work of art.
That's what we aim to. That's what we're aiming to do, is to try to like make it an art form in a way, or at least a way for people to express themselves. And I think people are doing a pretty good job of it. I mean, like if you look at some of the artwork out there, it's incredible.
Yeah.
The,
It's come a long
the
way.
intense, like the detail of the sculpts that people are doing at the scale they're doing is like out of control. Even the materials we use, they don't. It's really hard to find materials designed to even work in the scale that we work in.
Oh,
That shows you
I'm
how.
trying to find like tiny little sculpting.
Oh my god,
tools
yeah,
to,
like our
like-
tools and stuff like that.
Oh, I bet. Like the smallest little, like, is that really hard to control? Like, are you worried about like when you get older, getting older, having like arthritis because of how
Oh,
minuscule
yeah.
movements?
Yeah.
I mean, we're already getting old. So
Yeah,
like
we're getting
opening
messed up,
pots
yeah.
and stuff. I'm like, oh,
My
body.
pinky was just like hurting last night for no reason.
Or
it
just like,
hurt.
yeah. Or spending so like
Your
I'm
eyes, like-
looking so intensely at something so small for like hours, and I look
Oh,
up.
Yeah, it messes with your eyes. Like for a
need to
while there, I
stop.
thought I had like problems with my eyes, but it was just from like focusing on stuff for too long. Then it
just
was like too. Yeah.
staring at this one little cap for 4 hours, and it's like,
Yeah. Or like
Mhm.
hunching over and
jeez. Someone just posted a picture of a of a board where every single key's an artist.
oh yeah. There's some pine
yeah,
caps on
that's
there.
I love the rhinos. I don't know who did the rhino, but I almost bought one. Or not rhinos, but triceratops.
Oh, that's
that's
Jake.
Jack.
Awesome.
Just another.
We
So
did
there's a
the
layer.
backspace and the enter on that one. If you look in the bottom right control, there's one of those kibukis.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
That's the.
Oh yeah,
date.
the enter on the numpad we did as well.
And there's a
Or not the enter, the 0.
lurve off of.
Oh, they get a
Where's
lurve
It's
too.
right there. You can't really
Where's
tell.
Oh yeah, there's a
It's
lurve at the very
transparent
top.
one.
Yeah.
It's the V1. It's
Is it the purple one?
the laser.
Or no,
one.
there it is. It's next to the pink.
It's next to
Yeah.
the low light.
Yeah.
Oh,
next
it's
to
the
pink.
laser one.
It's
Yeah,
what's
that
it
was a
called?
weird one.
It's UV.
Yeah. UV reactive, like.
That's cool.
hmm
the artisan market
Nice.
is crazy, and it blows my mind what people are able to do with a keycap. Like something that is so simple.
small.
It's so
I know,
simple. It's
right?
so small. They make something so incredibly detailed, something so tiny, and it's like, at the end of the day, everyone knows what a keycap is. But then they look at these artisans and they're like, I look at some of them and I'm just like, how is this possible? Like, how is someone able to make this as detailed and as perfect as they do? Like, it's just crazy.
It's quite interesting. Yeah, it's definitely like. I mean, it's interesting to see it evolve, you know, and to see, and even like watch each of the different artists' progressions over the years and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and see where everyone's taking it. And it's really, I really hope that
The
we can like.
trends that kind of go through.
I hope that it can continue to grow and to thrive like the way it has up until this point. You
Mm.
know, I hope it doesn't like spiral out of control or something. But yeah, it seems
Support
like
your local artists.
support your local artists,
Support
yeah.
of course.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
from what I've seen, like there's been a couple like attempts to like enter the market with like mass produced ones, and they never go that well. So.
I mean, some of the other makers have a lot more. Have bigger teams, kind of like Jelly Keys is like.
Oh yeah, there's like full art teams and stuff like that. Yeah.
More people.
So
They do larger runs.
we'll have to start up our
Our
West Coast
artisan-
Artisan Collective
Artisan
or something
Collective,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah. hmm
We're not a business, we're a collective.
This is our sage burning circle. Can't have any negativity here.
Dude, that's what you can do. You can
Definitely support Hello Kitty.
Oh yeah, Hello Caps is the bomb. Yeah.
We hung out with him at
got to
the
hang out
ranch
with him.
too.
We got it. Actually, I just got one of his. Well, it's a
It's a bongo cat.
bongo.
That's dope.
Jigglypuff.
It's a Jigglypuff.
That's it. It looks like
bongo.
Jigglypuff.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So
Needs a little microphone.
so
Oh yeah.
what are y'all's favorite artisans that are not?
I mean, mine's
Oh,
the egg face, and
I like the grimace
yeah, I like
from Gaff.
the Grimace V2 is really good. I really liked the Tight Beast from Gaff, and I like the Earl Escape, and I like
Yeah.
the Hunger Key.
Yeah, from
Yeah, from
Studios.
Hungerworks Studios.
And I've always been a fan of the otter.
I'm a really big fan of the Kiwok from Booper. Yeah. We have Lisa. We've got a couple Kiwoks. Lisa got
The Harley Quinn.
one Harley Quinn Kiwok
Awesome.
a while back. You want to go grab it? Yeah. What else we got? I don't know. I think those are my favorites. Yeah. Over the years, I mean, I always like egg face. I like the aesthetic. I mean, the Tight Beast, like the sculpting on it is phenomenal. We actually got a chance to talk to Gaff. Kudos. And he was like paradigm shifting me and stuff. It was lovely. Oh yeah, that's the Harley Quinn Ewok, which is rare.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
Three of
so
them.
sick.
Here's my version of the tooth.
Loves to focus on my.
That's
Oh yeah, here's the tooth one.
That's so awesome.
It's so cool.
At least focus on the key face. Come on.
the
Yeah.
Popsy skulls.
Yeah, we got a bunch of Popsy skulls and stuff like that, like the melon baller. Like little like melon, watermelon.
That was one of our collapse bins.
Yeah, in like 30 years, whenever the artisan museum pops up, be able to. I'm sure the tooth one will be
Yeah, right.
have its own
Right.
display.
Here's a spaghetti meatball for Cthulhu.
Oh, that's cool.
It's awesome.
That was
There's
one
the
that
tiger
Liam
one.
did. That was like a dream that Liam had. He's Hello Caps Liam.
Yeah. This was like his
That
thing.
was- yeah.
It was like his tooth.
That was like his tooth cap. Yeah, he had
He was,
he
like,
wanted to make it the whole time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've learned more about artisans.
No, I feel
last
like-
hour and a half.
I feel
Yeah,
like
how was
for the
that
next
for you guys? Yeah.
I just
I
feel like
have-
the next 2 weeks I just need to like go in and I need to learn about all the different makers, find one that I like, and then go on the hunt on Mech Market and find 3 that'll work on my OSA.
That's a way to do it for sure.
Yeah, keep an eye out. There might be some more Halloween sales coming up.
Yeah.
From people.
Yeah. I mean, always try to get it directly from the maker if you can, because I mean, aftermarket's fine as well. I shouldn't say don't go to the aftermarket. It's just typically there's a chance that you might end up spending more, depending. So
Depending,
just keep that
certainly
in mind
depending
if
on
you're
what
new
it
to
is.
it, that you probably want to get it direct.
Support your local artists.
Yeah, support your local
Yeah.
person. Yeah, it's definitely crazy. I do want to dive deeper into artisans because as I see more, I appreciate the art and appreciate the work that's put into it more.
It's something else. I mean, it's really interesting to see people like completely doing it by hand, and have at least to have that end of the community. I think that the community wouldn't quite be the same without that artistic addition to it, as far as like pushing themes, and a lot of the colors that we see coming out are derived from artisans, or like there's influence in that. And I think, yeah, it's definitely, it's nice to have it as a part of the community.
Keeps the creative juices flowing.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
would think so. Yeah.
Well, and it's cool that like, obviously we have designers who make keyboards, who make key sets, do a bunch of different things in the community, but artisans is like one of the few where it's like they're actually making it by hand. Like it is their blood, sweat, and
All
tears going
in-house.
into the direct product. So it's really cool.
It's something else.
And beard
It's
hair.
definitely one thing. Yeah, and beard
I
hair.
was,
And
I was
beard
thinking that
hair.
too. I was like, and hair.
It's definitely something to take something just from raw materials, from like nothing but raw materials, and like make it into something and like directly send that to someone, to just to
Yeah.
see something all the way
It's
from
pretty cool.
its rudimentary parts all the way to the finished piece.
Yeah.
How excited people get about it. It definitely gives us fulfillment. Sure. Yeah. I would say.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All I'm
Mhm.
saying is I would love to see some time lapse videos of start to finish for some.
Oh, I can't show you the magic, man. Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
Keycap magic.
It just seems like it would be super interesting.
From 37 seconds to 48 seconds, you see Frank screwed up and contemplating existence. Slow motion.
There's like smoke coming out of my ears. Oh, shit. Someone flip his switch. But yeah, no. I mean, honestly, like one day I intend to do some streaming and stuff. Once we get,
set up in a new place.
Once we get set up and stuff, we eventually plan to some videos and stuff. And we do have we were working on something synth 3.1, which is like the new GMK synth. So if any of you makers are out there, check out the new synth. It's got some new iterations, like it's got a 1.75U, 1.5, and 1.25U. And it's GMK or what is it? GMK and like PBT compatible. So you can
Nice.
Yeah. I know that's kind of confusing for you guys if you don't know what you're talking about, what's up with that, but
Just
essentially
nod the head.
I'm gonna nod and pretend like I know what I'm.
There's so for GMK, specifically for GMK sets, they have like an overhanging skirt. So like the stem on them is recessed a little bit. And so if you look at the side of your keyboard when you've got a GMK set on, it'll like sit down below the edge, which will make it look a lot better. And so in order to do that, you have to have a recessed stem, but that's a huge headache in order to cast. So we had synths got specially made for that. So
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, you get the point.
Very, very specific tool.
Yeah, it's a very specific tool.
But awesome that it exists because
Yes.
Most definitely.
keeps pushing it forward.
Yeah.
Brings it to more people.
Oh, that's the whole beauty of it. Yeah, just like hundreds of people able to experience the art form and see what it's actually like for themselves.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, any last questions? Throw them in the chat. I'm excited. I'm excited to see your guys' new place since I get to see your backdrop a lot. Excited to see the new backdrop.
We're gonna try to feng shui it. We'll be like next to each other.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's how like you can't. But
no, we get it because you guys are.
I mean, you guys, you get
figure it out.
more of it.
I see. Yeah.
Having because this desk is like I'm here and then she's the op.
We share the backdrop.
We share the middle desk. It's lovely. So
it was the dream, and it was finally executed.
Yes, and it was almost not executed.
Almost.
Wait, why not?
Whenever Osiris helped me move, and we got the tables in there, and I misjudged by literally an inch.
Well, no, it wasn't you misjudging.
Not even misjudged. The room is like 11.5 by 10.5, or like it's like 11 feet 2 inches by 11 feet flat. And I thought that the room was the other way with where the doors are. And so when I get the tables in, we put it up against the window, and it literally was that much too narrow for all three desks across. So we had to just like pin the door open. So
that's the worst. Oh man,
it was a frustrating like 5 minutes, but once we got that stuff put in, we're like, all right, we're fine now.
Yeah, it's like we don't need the door.
Yeah. And honestly, it hasn't it hasn't been an issue. I can be doing this and it's built to where the rest of the apartment is in between the two rooms and not like next to each other, which is really frustrating. So
you almost may as well just take the door right off the hinges, right?
Pretty much. But
see, someone in the chat asked if we do commission. I mean, we do occasionally do commissions still, but it's only really if people do like orders with us. So typically we'll do it'll be like a studio day. So if someone wants to commission us for a studio day, we'll by all means do that. So we do entertain commissions from time to time, but we don't normally just do single cap commissions. We get a lot of people asking us to do very specific things, and I don't know if you realize that's like 100 hours
work. More work for certain things.
So
I need my cowboy keycaps.
Which What you do there is you just tell them an astronomical amount of money, and then if they do it, then it's like, all right, it's worth it.
That's what I gotta start doing. It's hard to
I don't
gouge
cancel,
people.
you know.
Yeah.
It's hard to know how long something
yeah.
will take.
It's hard to predict. Well, that's another thing is you have to recast them. So, and that's one of the reasons why we like to just do our own thing. Is it's like, you know, when we're doing it, it's our
Saves
own
you a
vision,
headache.
and when other people are doing it, it's their vision. And oftentimes people don't have the best way of describing their vision, so it can come out different from what they want. I mean, maybe we're understanding it wrong. There's breakdowns in communication that can happen essentially, and it makes commissions difficult.
Yeah.
Just understanding what is you're able to do in a key. It's like, oh, we'll do this and this, but like, well, you can't really do that. Like, it just doesn't.
You have to understand we're working with gravity here.
Yeah.
So you can't like have. Yeah, there's some physics
Like
involved
times
that
it
people
beats
don't
them.
really.
We do our best.
We do our best, though. Yeah. So, if you do want us to commission us for a studio day, just shoot me an email.
PrimeCaps artisans.
Yeah.
At
Happy
Gmail.
to.
There you go.
Yep.
Throw the gift spot up, and we can move into our last two.
Cool.
I'll ask the serious one. What is your favorite and least favorite thing about the community right now?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, my favorite part of the community right now is its ability to maintain cohesion, even when it's been fractured into 1,000 tiny pieces. It's like everyone's such good friends now that like everyone's talking outside. So everyone used to have a really centralized spot, and it all got fractured. Like people were on GeekHack and on MechMark or on mechanical keyboards, and then Discord took off, and it's like everyone's just been split. But we still talk to everyone, and like
I
that's
feel
the
like
thing.
I talk to more people.
Yeah, we've got even the community's even growing stronger. Aside from that, like the meetups are growing
because it's more like kind of direct, like in time communication as like posts.
Yeah,
it's like that's one thing. Like I've really noticed lots of mini meetups.
A lot of mini meetups happening.
Pop up,
the little friend groups are forming. Yeah,
well, it's like
it's
the
nice
local
to see
community,
it.
like
and
the
even
smaller
us
groups.
too. Like we didn't have a mechanical keyboard friend group around here. Now we've got one, which is really
that's
cool.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like we've gone to Vancouver a couple times for our like.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. What do I not like?
Well, yeah. What do you not like? What do we not like?
I mean, it's a lot of artists.
We just get frustrated with the work, really. Yeah.
So.
I don't have many major complaints with the community aside from
it's love of drama.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever. Everyone's drama's gonna drama, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The community is honestly, I couldn't say like I can't really think of anything that the community is like worse off of than any other community. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, we're better. We do a lot better than a lot of ways in a lot of the other communities out there.
Yeah.
Points of frustration, I don't even know, honestly. Yeah, no, I don't really have any. No. I'm gonna have to pass on that, Cotton.
Oof. That is the most Canadian answer. What's something great? All these things are great. What's something bad? Can't say anything bad.
Well, it's just none of it really like, I mean, everyone's been so good to us over the years. I mean, everyone has their challenges, you know, but like we've never really interacted with someone that we couldn't, you know, ever talk to, ever like everyone's been so reasonable. And like that's the thing is it's like I can't really think of anything that's really irking me aside from like the challenges with our own work.
Yeah.
That we're most of our struggle is really working through our like production. Yeah.
And
creative and production challenges. Yeah, definitely.
Last but not least, well, definitely last. The Office or Parks and Recreation?
The Office.
Probably The Office.
Yeah.
I've seen more of The Office, I think.
There it is.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's been a while since The Office has won.
I like them both, but I just don't like
The Office.
I find Leslie Knope kind of irritating.
That's funny you say that because I'm just like I find Michael Scott super irritating.
You know, I really found him irritating, but then I like watched it again and then like he grew on me. I found, you know, more of his endearing moments. I still cringe so much from things.
I mean,
like
Ron Swanson though. I mean, he's pretty good. Shit, right?
I mean, they're both great shows. It's not
They're
saying
both good
both
shows.
great.
Yeah,
which
it's hard
one's
for me
better.
to say which one I prefer more. But The Office, I just
The Office went kind
The
of
Office
at the end.
Well,
I
no,
guess
you're not supposed
Michael
to count
Scott.
the last.
Right. Sorry.
It's not how it works. Yeah, no, I'd say I just from a bit more of like the nostalgia factor. Yeah.
Well, there you go, Cyrus.
No,
The Office.
finally.
What
It's
are
been
you?
at least-
What
it's been
about
at
you
least-
guys?
Yeah.
I'm Parks and Rec heavy because I think Michael's. I watch The Office as if I'm an employee of The Office, and I'm just like, how? Why is he not fired? He should be fired. He should have been
Wait,
fired.
Michael Scott?
Yeah, I'm like, he should have been fired.
But he's
Because
a
he's-
great salesman.
Yeah, he's a good
Every
salesman.
other, but he doesn't even sell.
Yeah, but but everyone. The thing you have to understand is that his staff loves him because he's so like he doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, it's one of those things too where it's like he takes all the I love I love the episodes, but I hate it when he takes all the credit for like everybody else's work and
It's
stuff.
so
and
aggravating.
They're like everybody's branch is struggling and you guys are doing great. And he's like, oh, I'd like to keep it, 64, 65 degrees or whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay. You have an amazing worker that you hate, but somehow that's what. And then I like Andy and April's really. I think some of the relationships there are more relationships that are better in Parks and Rec. Now, Jim and Pam have the greatest on-screen relationship probably of all time.
Mhm.
But after that, there's not really much.
No.
And
You're
where
right.
Parks and Rec has Ron and his new wife, and then they have Leslie and Ben, and Andy and April, and Tom and that other girl, and so it's just a lot of different.
I know Michael Scott is a very annoying character, but him and
Holly are great.
Holly,
They are great.
their little story,
But their story's
I think that's
great.
part
But
of
I
what
think
really got me on. I was like,
I wish they had brought her on more because I wanted to see that relationship way more.
Yeah, she was weird too, right? And she
was.
Were they gonna replace? Oh wait, go ahead, sir.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm totally on The Office for the nostalgia factor. I remember growing up every Wednesday night, turning on The Office, watching that, and then slowly as it came out, watching Parks and Rec as well. I still love Parks and Rec. Ron Swanson is my hero.
Mhm.
He likes Isla scotches. I love Isla scotches. So, but
Got a beautiful picture of a breakfast on his wall.
I mean, my coworkers and I quote The Office and Parks and Rec just like nonstop. So,
and I wholeheartedly believe that Jim and Pam, their relationship, is the greatest love story of our generation.
Interesting.
Right.
Wait, it's not Dwight and Smangela?
That's close second.
But yeah. But we will we'll wrap it up there. Quick, do you want to do a quick shout out to the sponsors one last time?
Just run through them. You can go to switchmod.net/mexondeck, get 4% off lube and the tons of other stuff that he's got in stock, as well as keep your eye out for GMK Alter running on November 1st. Then you can go to mexondeck.dixiemech.com, pick up GMK Dracula. Do it. Go for it.
Gio asked for it.
Thank you, Gio.
Oh, wow.
He's been building it up for a while there.
Yeah, man. And the Japanese horror writer also donated 1,000 bits. If you had said something, my headphones were off probably. But Gio, thank you for giving this up. Alhex, welcome on board.
But yeah, go to mexondeck.dixiemech.com, pick up something Dixie's got, GMK Dracula, GMK Terra next month, and then last but not least, Zap Cables. Get yourself a fancy cable. He's got some cool desk mats that are super huge. They're like way longer than any of like the Novel Keys desk mats. So if you want something that's a little bit bigger, head on over to Zap Cables and check them out.
Nice. Thank you guys for having us on.
Yeah,
It's been we had a great time. Yeah.
So where can they find y'all? Like how do they get in on the raffles for one of those fancy PrimeCaps?
2 easy ways to do it. The first way is if you aren't on Instagram already, hop on Instagram. We always give you a heads up, and we actually leave our raffles open for a reasonable amount of time. So typically speaking, you get about a 6-hour window where you can enter. If you don't use Instagram, it's fine. Hop over to primecaps.ca. at the bottom of the page, there'll be a mailing list, and you can just enter there. We typically will send out an email blast before caps go live. So just watch your email and watch Instagram. Either one is fine. If you don't even want to bother watching Instagram, just do the email one because you'll just get an email notification.
For most.
Yeah, for most stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you guys both, and I'm yeah, thanks off. So looks like apiary is the only one on right now, so we will start that raid.
Excellent.
But thank you guys. We've got, I think, well, I'll make an announcement who's next. I need to actually look it up
Cool.
and talk to them as well. I know Osiris.
I'm building this next Tuesday.
Get pumped for it. The serious. Wait. We got a couple waits. Well, I've already started the raid. I can hit cancel. It depends. Are we looking for another horn?
Thanks you guys for being a good audience for us. Hey,
there it is. One more.
One more for
At the
the
buzzer.
What a nice guy.
Geo, thank you. Guys, thank you. And have a good night.
Good
You as
night,
well.
everybody.
Thanks, you guys.